not immediately clear that conservative justices like Amy Coney Barrett will give Donald Trump the free rein he wishes to do as he pleases. But beyond government institutions, which have disappointed us in the past, there is chiefly the role of civil society, we, the people, who will collectively form a crucial bulwark against a key authoritarian weapon, historical revisionism. Strong men rewrite history to justify their abuses of power, and they depend on fear to control their followers. From educators to historians to journalists and activists, we are now called upon to play a critical role in keeping the public informed and preserving historical memory, creating a cultural political resistance to attempts to further erase democratic norms. It can be hard in this moment to see past our immediate despair, and yet our nation's history is defined by resistance to tyranny in its many forms, and history serves to remind us that this fight is far from over. When we come back, I'll be joined by the legendary constitutional scholar Laurence Tribe with much more on what stands between Donald Trump's authoritarianism and our democracy. Joining me now is the esteemed legal scholar Laurence Tribe. He's a professor emeritus at Harvard Law School. He's the author of many important books, including American Constitutional Law and To End a Presidency, The Power of Impeachment. Larry, good to see you. Thank you for being with us. I wanted to talk to you, interesting message. You disagree with those who say that all the guardrails are gone under a second Trump term, and you mean this very seriously. You're talking about things that exist within our legal and societal structure. What do you mean?
First of all, thank you very much for having me on, Howie. I think your summary before the break of all of the ways in which civil society, not limited to lawyers, but historians, journalists, all of us have our work cut out for us. It's not over. Of course, many people, me included, feared that Donald Trump's aspirations were authoritarian. There's no doubt that if he could do all kinds of terrible things that would be extremely dangerous to the safety of individuals in our society, extremely dangerous to our freedoms, he would do it. But he does not have unlimited power. When I read that the guardrails are now gone, I really wonder where these people have been. The Constitution of the United States is not just a remarkable piece of prose. Unlike the largely empty constitutions that some other countries have had, in which there are paper guarantees against oppression, our Constitution develops an architecture with a history of more than 250 years in which power has been systematically dispersed throughout society. It is not and cannot be concentrated in the hands of one leader. The states themselves have enormous power. We have seen them simply beginning in the last couple of days to flex their muscles. They're not rejecting the outcome of the election. They are not plotting to overturn the transfer of power. What they are doing is reminding people that they are not empty vessels. They have authority. 7 of them just the other day enshrined reproductive rights into their constitutions. There are powers that Congress has to override what states do, but those powers are themselves limited. So there is enormous reservoir of resistance and authority that we need to now activate. And there are hundreds of people, lawyers among them, who are working with state attorneys general, state governors, state lawmakers, to make sure that those guardrails are activated. Then there's also federal law, the federal judiciary. Of course, it has turned far right on a number of issues that are of great importance to many of us. But that doesn't mean that core guarantees against arbitrary arrest